what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy it. Drake May came out and announced that he is skipping the bowl game. Drake May is the UNC quarterback. He's been very good. For the last 2 years, essentially, it's been Caleb Williams is going to go number one. Drake May will be the second quarterback taken off of the board. Pretty in 2 years at UNC, finished with a 17-9 record. They went to the AC championship last year. He was solid, right? But he's a giant. He can run. His comp. So we always comp Caleb Williams, and again, comp does not mean they will be this successful. It's more of a style of play thing, right? Caleb Williams always gets comped as Patrick Mahomes. You can see why. We mentioned Jayden Daniels and Lamar Jackson in the same breath lately. You can see why there. Although, interestingly, Jayden Daniels a significantly better passer than Lamar. I mean, just in terms of accuracy and touch and everything, than Lamar is coming out of college. And the comp for Drake May would be Aaron Rodgers. Right? I mean, really athletic, rocket arm, can throw from all sorts of insane situations. And so here's what Drake May said when it came to skipping the bowl game. Quote, "First off, moving on from college and getting back into workout mode and really just learning the steps of preparing for the NFL draft. Not only physically, but mentally. Playing quarterback in the NFL is a mental game. I want to show the NFL not only my competitive edge, but I'm a winner and a leader, and I'm ready to take on a franchise." So this quote tells the story to me that we have talked about. God, I love the DeVito family. This quote tells a story to me that we have talked about for years now, which is if you are a major NFL prospect, right? Like you're someone like Jayden Daniels, and the work you did this senior year has already rocketed you up the draft board, but if you're trying to get into that top 5, that top 10, the margins start to really matter. So things like the combine, how do you test, all this other sort of stuff. The ironic part about that is the combine is not really representative of football. It's a different training regime, right? It's one of the oddest things about it. And so you have a situation where how do you justify someone like Drake May or Jayden Daniels hanging around till January 1st for a bowl game? How do you do it? Well, when's the combine? February? End of February? Beginning of March?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right? So you're going to tell me that if you're direct, because make no mistake, and this is really about Jayden Daniels, because Jayden Daniels is directly competing with these two now for draft status. According to Mel Kiper, Caleb Williams is still considered a lock for number one, but there is heat for Jayden Daniels now to maybe overcome Drake May, and it's not hard to see why with the year that Daniels put together, combined to where the NFL meta appears to be shifting, right, in terms of just how valuable a true dual threat quarterback can be on that level, especially one that has shown the intangibles, the work ethic, and everything else that Jayden showed you this year. So he is directly competing with these two. If you're Jayden Daniels, why would you lose 2 months of NFL prep? So we could say 1 month. 1 month of NFL prep against your direct peers to go play in the ReliaQuest Bowl. I don't think you should. And I don't think that's a bad thing, right? Now, I do think it's interesting because bowl games still matter. Getting to 10 wins for LSU still matters. It sets the tone for the entirety of the offseason, right? I mean, what's one of the reasons that Penn State was so hyped up all this last year? They went and beat the hell out of Utah last year in a New Year's Six Bowl. You're going to tell me it doesn't matter to Ole Miss to try to beat, who are they playing? Why am I blanking right now? Mizzou is playing Ohio State. Who's Ole Miss playing?
My freaking mouse would work. I can tell you.
Ooh.
There we go.
I should know this.
I should know it too.
They're
Just
playing
talked about it yesterday.
Penn State.
Thank you. Ole Miss playing Penn State. They have a chance to win 11 games for the first time in school history. So, yes, these bowl games still mean things to the programs. They mean things to the coaches, the players that are going to continue to be in the programs, but they are hard or impossible to justify for major NFL prospects when they have bigger individual goals that they have to go take care of. And so, look, Drake May announced he's going. Caleb Williams technically has not announced that he's going to the NFL, but he has said he's not going to play in the bowl game. So, do the math there. And I imagine that you will see Jayden Daniels do the same. And this is the correct decision for Jayden Daniels. And it creates where I think, because like as we try to make sense of bowl games in this new era, how do we think about them? How do we approach them? It's a pretty fascinating look at what they kind of can transform into, which is almost a preview of next year's team, especially when you're going through a quarterback change. And so now, again, I fully imagine that you'll see Jayden Daniels say that he's not going to play. Not 100%, but we'll see. Which means that now you're going to get a look at Garrett Nussmeier. And you got to, just really try to put yourself in Garrett Nussmeier's shoes. And you're in a tough situation. You are following up a legend. Now, not to the level of like a Miles Brennan having to follow a Joe Burrow, but in a weird way, maybe even worse, because now twice in 5 years, you've seen legendary Heisman level quarterback play. So again, when people get things multiple times, right, they start to expect it. And so, sure, while people aren't going to expect Garrett Nussmeier to set the records that Jayden Daniels did or to win the Heisman, they're going to expect greatness. It's what they're going to demand. And this game against Wisconsin will be Garrett Nussmeier's first opportunity to deliver it. And it's not just him. It's anybody, right? It's any of these young players who get opportunity that they haven't had during the regular season. You're basically going to get a full miniature camp. Now, hopefully you manage bodies correctly. You don't go too crazy here if you're the coaches. But you're going to get 15 practices to get ready for this game and to set the tone for the offseason. To try to win 10 games like you did last year, to try to go into the, really launch into that offseason with positive vibes. And if you're Garrett Nussmeier, to make your first kind of opening statement that, look, y'all bet on me in a lot of ways, right? They did with Garrett Nussmeier. If you look at basically choosing him over Walker Howard, which the coaching staff did, giving him the reps in the bowl game last year to kind of keep him happy and continue to get him experience. And granted, that's because Nuss earned it. He played very well in the SEC championship. And the flashes that we've seen out of him, there's been some really exciting stuff there. But as we talk more and more about quarterbacks and the modern college setting of quarterbacks, we see more and more that competition behooves you. Bringing in guys to compete behooves you, unless you're just really, really sold on a guy. So right now, it is Garrett Nussmeier's job to sell this LSU staff on him, and this bowl game and the practices therein will be his first opportunity to do so. Again, I would imagine. We haven't heard from Jayden yet. And so I'm going to be fascinated to see, as now you're having a quarterback assuming the mantle of a Heisman winner and having to assume it at the end of a season in a game that does matter for Brian Kelly, that does matter a lot for LSU fans and their mental health, and that does matter kind of for the legacy of LSU as they try to get another 10-win season, which, as we know, is kind of the baseline metric around these parts in which we will give you a passing grade. If you lose this game, well, then no, you 9-4, not going to cut it. And regardless, a big leap is going to be expected next year anyway. So that's another crazy thing about Nussmeier is he's going to be expected to have this team win way more than Jayden Daniels did while following up a Heisman campaign and maybe having to do it with a defense still led by Matt House. It's a very unenviable position to be in. But Nussmeier's greatest asset has always been his confidence, his kind of fearlessness. And I would say that all of that and then some is going to be put to the test here on January 1st. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.